your captain, Brett Seney, quickly celebrating his 500th pro game on Sunday in Iowa. Of course, he has a great game, scores a clutch goal for you guys. But for your first year to come into this position and to have him already so set in his ways in this room, how helpful has that been?
Yeah, I feel really fortunate. We had a relationship before when I was an assistant here, and really respect. 500 games, that's a lot of grinding. He's had his stints in the NHL. I think he's really embraced being a leader to our younger guys, and his heart's in the right spot. We're lucky to have him here. He'll be going on his 5th year next year in Rockford. So, yeah, really happy for him, and obviously getting a big goal in Iowa.
Taking care of business this past weekend against a desperate Wild team, and they had their punch backs, of course, throughout the weekend. But how proud are you from the group to, when it seemed like it mattered most, you guys really stuck to making plays and finding some key bounces too?
Yeah, it's not easy, beating they're playing really well. Don't be fooled by their record. They're a different team. To win a hard-fought battle here, get on the bus. Both teams traveled, but it's never easy to beat a team twice on back-to-backs. Especially both teams are in similar positions, fighting to get back in the playoff picture. Was really proud of the effort and limited sleep in Iowa. It'll be a test here. This weekend we got another home and home with them. Going to be tight games, but we're going to need more of that. Different guys to step up. You see the fourth line again had a big goal. Rudd Reed picked up where he left off. It was some big key moments.
I was going to ask you about Ollie, but I also want to see if you'll touch on Andrew Parrott. I thought in that third period on Sunday, there were a couple plays where he just separated body from puck, just really good reads and not trying to do too much. Is that the kind of defense that is just so necessary at this time of the year and in late stages of games?
Yeah, our D, that's number one trait that I love is it can kill plays, get the puck out of our end. I think when Andy's at his best, he's eliminating the opponent from the puck. He's tough to play against. I thought really the last month and a half, 2 months, Parrott's been playing to, what we expected of him. I know I've had him for the last handful of years. I know what he's capable of. I know he can be a really good defenseman at this level. And it's no secret, had Fitzgerald and Pouliot. Furlong's playing well, and, Hislop steps in and Parrott's playing the way he is. Mastic, Kuzma stepped in, give us great key minutes. I think it's the biggest reason why we found success.
I know fans are kind of wishing we would have stacked some more of these wins together a little bit earlier. What's been the difference these last couple of weeks that has put us on this nice little run here?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, there's puck luck and bounces, but also, I think and Mark Bernard's done a good job. We found, like even this last stint, getting a chase to foe that fourth line has been really good lately. And we have a younger team, and there's been a lot of moving parts. I think just taking us some time to gel. I think the last 2 months, kind of tweaked our D zone, and that's, I think, been a big reason why we've taken steps. But we're no excuses. We're right there with you. We wish we would have won some more games earlier, but we are where we're at. And I'm happy with the steps we've taken. I think we're playing good hockey, especially against, seems like the better the opponent, we raise our game. We can play with anybody.
Korchinski got the call up. I just learned that Levshinov's done for the rest of this season. So I don't know if that means Korchinski's up there to stay for the duration, but how much does it hurt losing an all-star caliber defenseman like that when you're trying to get into the playoffs here?
Yeah, it's just like losing any. Toninato's another big loss. He was our top center. But it gives opportunities for guys. That's what I think our depth has been tested. We've actually responded well. Furlong, I would have never guessed he'd be the player he is. In that Nolan Allen trade, he's been a great addition. But yeah, for sure, like losing a Korchinski, he plays 23 to 25 minutes a night. Somebody has to fill those minutes. But guys have embraced that, and guys are playing to their ceiling, especially on the back end. That's what's exciting as a coach. You see guys step up, and guys that invest so much into it.
I know you have to play your division rivals a lot, but Iowa 5 times in 6 games seems just absurd. I don't know who scheduled that, but how hard is it to face that same team over and over and over like that?
Yeah, it's not. It's not perfect, but one positive, we get to go to the I-80, our favorite stop. But we enjoy that road trip. Actually, get on the road, and it's tough. It's life in the minors. You get the home and homes. But yeah, it's the hockey's hockey, no matter what. I kind of like it. Gets guys a little more agitated. They play with more emotion when you're playing the same opponent over and over. It's kind of like playoffs. So, but this time of year to be playing meaningful hockey, doesn't matter who the opponent is. We still have a chance in the playoff picture. Those are the best times as a hockey player and as a coach to prepare. It's nicer weather outside. Points are big, so doesn't matter who it is. But it happens to be Iowa a bunch, and that'll be great tests.
One more from me.
Yep.
You're nearing the end. Hopefully, there's a lot more hockey yet to be played, but you're kind of nearing the end of your first year here as the head coach. How have you enjoyed the journey so far? What maybe are one or two key things that you learned that maybe you weren't expecting along?
Yeah. Where do I start? It's been a great experience. Love the group. I'm really proud of you. I can only think of maybe one or two games where I question the team's effort. That's the number one thing with it as a coach. But, I have a ways to go. Obviously, it's my second year as a head coach. First year at this level was a lot different. Last year, I was pretty much just me and one assistant here. I think managing a staff, and managing with the Blackhawks and then Indy and the ECHL, I didn't expect to be seasoned coming into this, and I appreciate the Blackhawks and Mark Bernard's been patient with me, but I love it. It's been a great experience, and I feel like I've been getting better.